44 high school students blackmailed, tortured, and essayed a little middle school girl for over a year straight. All 44 perpetrators were not punished without even a note on their criminal record. They are currently, in 2024, 20 years later, living anonymously as free men in this world. This YouTube video titled, "Pak, Did You Think I Wouldn't Find You?" would be the start of a string of vigilante justice YouTubers slowly releasing the protected hidden identities of the essayers involved. 14-year-old Hannah was just discharged from the hospital. This is back in 2004. She's in deep in sleep when she hears this rustling next to her, shuffling, and there is this middle-aged woman kneeling next to her. "Hannah, don't you feel sorry for your oppa for being in detention? Look, sign this petition to get him out sooner, and Hannah, I'll let you marry him." Sitting in front of Hannah is the mother of a high school boy, the mother of one of Hannah's 44 R-worders. She's offering Hannah the quote chance to marry her R-worder. A few months prior to that, Hannah was sitting in front of the police officer, watching him flick off another piece of ash from his to the ashtray. This is all from Hannah's recent interviews that she did, where she is still anonymous. She said she had to put up with this for 8 to 10 hours per day for the past 8 days of nonstop questioning. She's 14. Tell me again how it all happened exactly. Start from the top one more time. It started a year ago when she was 13. Hannah was about to slam the phone down. She's at home on the phone, and she's about to turn it off when a voice on the other line is like, "Wait." She was trying to call a friend of hers, but she misdialed the phone number by just one number. And this random guy picks up, and he sounds about her age. He has a very young voice. "Wait." And they try to make small talk and telling her, "Your voice is pretty," and he's a high schooler from Miryang, which is about an hour away. He sounds very normal. Honestly, nothing special or a standout. But he asks her to hop onto the online chat room that he's in so that they can talk more and just hang out. It's not even a one-on-one online chat room. It's a big group chat where a bunch of random high schoolers from all these different towns gather together. On and off, Hannah would just hop on, talk to this boy, and he's an 18-year-old named Pak Gibang.
Real name?
Yes. Now, the guys keep encouraging Hannah to come meet up at Miryang, or at least meet them once, right? So Hannah has a little sister that's 1 year younger. She was also in the chat rooms. I believe they were sharing one computer though. So I don't know if they had 2 different accounts or if they were just kind of all hanging out together. So the 2 of them, Hannah and her little sister, they take this bus to Miryang, and they thought they would mainly be seeing Pak that day. But instead, they're greeted not just by Pak, but with a few of his friends too, just waiting. But the police, they're stuck on this one detail. They keep asking, "So you went to go play with them?" Hannah explains, I wouldn't say play, I just went to go hang out with them. But then she got stranded that night. At the time, all buses leading out of Miryang ended at 4 o'clock. The sisters did not know this. Nobody told them this, but now they're stranded in Miryang. One of the guys turns to the sisters. "Well, we could just pay for a room for you here. It's fine. You can sleep here and go back tomorrow. I mean, what else could you do? It's not like we can drive you back home." It would be in that motel that Hannah would be gang R-worded by 12 different high schoolers that night. She was slapped, beaten with wooden sticks, with iron pipes. It's stated that the very first night, 12 of them came in and they recorded the whole thing. The footage would be held as blackmail to make Hannah do whatever they wanted from then on. At the end, all she had was $15 for the bus fare back, and they stole that too.
What about the little sister?
She was actually not R-worded. I believe this part was shared by her sister. They were interviewed together, but her sister was also in the room when Hannah was giving her statements. And that was also a big misconception that practically everyone had about this case, was the fact that Hannah's sister and cousin were also essayed by the perpetrators, that the perpetrators had forced Hannah to bring her sister and cousin to be victims as well, right? The reason that everyone, including myself, believed this was because the police told the media this. Initially, that's what they said, that all 3 girls were essayed, but it has since been disproven. Hannah's sister was beaten and robbed and never essayed, and the cousin was actually on the perpetrator's side. She was dating a perpetrator. What? He turns to the little girl, the witness, and says, "Wait, why do you think you weren't essayed? Is it because you're fat?"
That's to the little sister?
Yes. And the perpetrators, who also happened to be in the room, they couldn't hold it in. And she said that they just started busting out laughing and snickering at her. And she nodded because they had told her that. While her sister was getting gang essayed and she was trying to look for any ways to save her sister, they told her, "You're not going to get essayed because you're too fat and we don't like the way you look." The police wanted to know why the torture and assaults lasted a full year. Why didn't you say anything? Did they hold you captive? Did they kidnap you for a year? Hannah tries to explain that they had videos of her that were, she's getting essayed and they're threatening to disperse it online if she didn't do exactly as what they said. The first time the perpetrators called her, when she's home, they're like, "We need to meet up." She told them, "No, I don't want to." But then her home phone started ringing while her dad was home. She picks it up. It's the perpetrators. "See how easy it is for me to tell your dad everything?" She said, "I was scared. I kept going to Miryang because I was scared."
And this is all coming from Pak.
And his friends. All of his friends get involved. So she went. She didn't know that some of these videos had already been posted online on shady websites with views coming in from Japan, China, and the United States, as well as South Korea, obviously. Each time Hannah was forced to meet up with them, just groups of 3 to 24 high school guys would drag her to dark areas, motel rooms, tennis courts, abandoned attics, playgrounds. It stated that the perpetrators also used various objects to further humiliate and torture Hannah, which would end up causing a lot of complications for Hannah in her reproductive regions. There are 44 main perpetrators, but the number of witnesses, bystanders, and those who knew what was happening was likely closer to 120. The police have been listening to Hannah and her sister, telling them for 10 hours a day for the past 10 days the extent of trauma for the past year of Hannah's life. But the police, they finally look up from their computers and they ask, "Did you wag your tail first? Did you resist with all your might? Did you make it clear to the other person that you had no intention of intercourse with them? Did you resist like a madman?" I mean, it just doesn't make sense. If you didn't like it at all, why did you keep going back to Miryang? Hannah said for the longest time, she regretted letting her aunt get the police involved. So for the year that all of this had been happening, Hannah never told anyone. She didn't have anyone to tell except for her sister, and they both had nobody. A year before that, before all of this abuse, Hannah's mom actually left the house. That would have been maybe the only person Hannah felt comfortable telling this to. And it's not like Hannah's mom wanted to leave. She had to stay alive. Hannah's dad is an incredibly violent, abusive man, and somehow the courts awarded him full custody over their 3 children. So their mom wasn't even allowed to see them without his approval, which, I mean, you would imagine he's never going to give. Hannah says, "At first my mom was beaten, but when she left, after that, I became the target and got beaten a lot from then on." It's not until about a year in that Hannah's mom's sister, so her aunt from her mom's side, comes to visit. And right off the bat, she's like, "Something's wrong with these girls. Something's wrong with my nieces." November 25th, 2004, after 11 months of torture, abuse, blackmail, essay, the police are finally called. And the police reassure Hannah's aunt, "Trust us. The details aren't going to hit the media." Just 12 days after that, the police release a quick press conference stating that 40-something high school male students had gang essayed 3 girls, including 2 middle school sisters, for a year straight. So this is where the decades-long misinformation that Hannah's little sister was also essayed starts. The initial press conference also stated that the 2 sisters were essayed by 41 different high school boys in one day. That's not true either. Now, all the major news networks report on this because, I mean, that's what the police told them. Why would they think it's not true? But the biggest problem with the police press conferences, they release the victims' full names to the media, which honestly should have been redacted from the get-go. These are just a few things that went wrong during the investigation. Just a few violations of human rights. Hannah would come and all the perpetrators' parents would be waiting outside the police station for her, grabbing at her shirt while she's trying to get inside, screaming at her that she's ruining their sons' lives. One of the perpetrators' mothers even came and called Hannah a gold digger. Additionally, when victims have to do a police lineup, there's usually a room with a one-way glass window where the victim can see all the people lined up, but they cannot see the victim through the glass. The police station Hannah went to had one of those rooms. They called it the crime identification room, but it could only fit 8 perpetrators at once. So they opted to just not use it at all. They just rounded up all the accused perpetrators in the police station out in the open, dragged Hannah in front of them all at once, and made her ID the perpetrators. The police would just yell at her, "Who did the beating? Just point out which one did the beating. Okay, and who did this part right here where you said that they touched this area? Who did this very graphic detail you told us? Who watched? Who touched? Come on, hurry, point them out. The perpetrators are just straight up cursing her out at the police station, and the police are doing nothing to stop it. I mean, they're giving the half, calm down, sit down. Additionally, the police's way of getting the victim justice was to force all 44 perpetrators on their knees in the police station and force them to apologize to Hannah. After all of this, Hannah is hospitalized for a full month for extensive physical injuries as well as psychological. During her hospital stay, she mentioned to her psychologist that every single time she's at a subway station, she just wants to jump. She has PTSD, panic disorders, and eating disorders, severe depression. She's so confused on how something like this could happen that her brain is trying to rationalize it by convincing herself that she must have done something wrong in the process. And eventually, after a month, her dad comes in to pick her up. Her dad and her other aunt. So not the one that called the police. That's her mom's sister. This is her dad's sister. She and her dad show up at the hospital and they're trying to take Hannah home. The moment that Hannah gets in that car, her dad is shoving a pen in her hand. Just sign it. The statement reads, I, the victim, first met insert name of our worder, and the other oppas in Miryang. While it is true that he inflicted harm on me, the victim, I have been sufficiently compensated mentally and materially for the harm inflicted by the perpetrator. I, the victim, do not wish for the perpetrators to be punished, and I request the judge's leniency for the perpetrators to be released as soon as possible. The statement also reads that Hannah has a crush on the perpetrator in question, and quote, I'm worried about him and I miss him and I would like to see him soon. While she was in the hospital for a month, the perpetrator's parents came to the dad and he was arranging deals. He convinces Hannah to sign for some of the perpetrators because those are the ones that paid him. Now, when these guys, these perpetrators, the ones that she signed the letter of leniency for, they come to apologize, Hannah said it's not what she expected. She genuinely thought that they felt remorse and they realized their actions were bad. But no, they were smirking, they were laughing, and she said, quote, I was really dumbfounded and shocked. Now, 44 of them were, I don't want to say taken to trial because it's not necessarily a trial, but 44 of them were arrested for the Miryang case. 20 of those 34 were released because either their parents had paid Hannah's dad money or they were found to not have used force to essay Hannah, meaning they essayed Hannah, but they weren't holding an iron pipe. They essayed Hannah, but they didn't beat her. That leaves 14. Now, 13 of them are not tried because in South Korea back then, the crime of essay was considered a civil matter, meaning the victim had to press charges for someone to be taken to court for essay. But that means the burden of proof, everything relies heavily on the victim. And that's already so bad. But it gets worse. Hannah had said about some perpetrators, she used the language, quote, blank so-and-so harmed me at this time. The police stated that is a statement of fact, not an accusation, meaning she does not want to press charges on this person. The other 10 that are sent to juvenile court, they don't receive any punishment. They just get sent to juvenile court and they just get slaps on the wrists. They get community service. They don't do anything, essentially.
So they didn't go to prison?
No, they were a few of them were held in detention for a little while, awaiting the court dates, but that's it. At this point, after all 44 get out with no punishment, they're free to be, Hannah has to move out of her hometown. She moves to Seoul with her mom and her sister, and she's looking for a new school to take her. None of the schools want her. She finally gets transferred into a new school in Seoul, but because one of the perpetrators' mom shows up at this new school, chasing her around the hallways of this school, shoving a paper in her face, trying to get her to sign another leniency paper. Hannah was so scared she ran directly to the bathroom, locked herself in the stall, and the mom was just following her, banging on the door, demanding she sign this letter. And from that point forward, everybody knew who she was. Hannah said she couldn't focus in school. I mean, after that, in less than a week, she stopped going to school and she dropped out. Now, in 2014, a movie titled Han is released in South Korea.
It was based on this case?
And they're comforting themselves. Well, I'm sure in the real life case, she's doing okay, right? And we haven't heard any news that she passed, right? There would be news if she passed in real life. So I'm sure she's fine. Yeah, that's not what was happening. Hannah says she has not lived a day without medication because it is impossible. She and her sister were unable to graduate high school. They have been through psychiatric treatment since 2004. For the past 20 years, they cannot stop medicating. Unlike Hannah, though, the perpetrators are living well. June 2nd, 2024, Hannah's younger brother is spending time with his older sister. So they do have a younger brother, but he was living with their dad at one point. And he mentions, hesitantly, YouTube is in chaos right now. Why? Personal information of the perpetrators is being disclosed, including their faces. They're being exposed. It all starts June 1st, 2024, when a YouTuber by the name of Narak Bogonso, or Hell Storage, uploads a video that I was talking about. Pakibam, did you think that I wouldn't find you? The YouTuber exposes one of the main 44 in the Miryang case. Now, side note, the original poster even asks a question of, all the perpetrators say, if you show me leniency, judge, I will live my life volunteering and helping those in need. The judge has showed leniency and it's been 20 years. So let's see. Did the perpetrators spend their lives volunteering, reflecting, and helping those in need? Let's show the proof. The victim said, I thought referral to juvenile department meant detention in juvenile center, and I thought at least they could be punished for their crimes in that way. Now they are going through some of the court documents again, and they read these words nonstop. No right of prosecution, lack of victim testimony. So the no right of prosecution means that she did not actively want to press charges, basically. And the lack of victim testimony, they don't understand what that means. She was forced to testify over and over and over and over again. Hannah says after 20 years, she just wants to know the truth now. What does that mean? She went and requested the documents and information from the courts of the case that she is the victim of, and they refused to give her the documents stating privacy reasons. She said, when I tried to obtain the case-related documents, they told me I need to get consent from all 44 perpetrators.
Oh my
Imagine getting consent.
It's like nothing has changed from 20 years ago.
After the first initial YouTube video goes up, it kickstarts a wave of perpetrators being exposed by a string of YouTubers. It's not just one, it's like multiple. So let's run through the list of exposed, shall we? These are all internet allegations. Park, from the beginning of the episode, is working at his aunt's restaurant, which is a famous matjip. Matjip in Korean is... It's like a really good title. It's like a restaurant known for their unique and delicious food, which means it's bustling. He has a wife and daughter that he spoils with designer goods. And then we have Shin, also part of the main 44. He was working at a Volvo dealership. He has since been fired after being exposed. But prior to that, he owned 2 expensive foreign cars and played golf on the weekends. Third offender, Go. He works at LGU Plus headquarters, corporate office supplying devices to agencies and retailers. After being exposed, he has temporarily been reassigned to a different apartment. He is married with a wife and a daughter. Fourth offender, Kim. He works at the park sports team of the Miryang Facility Management Corporation. He has since come forward to state, at the time of the incident, I was forced to participate due to threats from seniors, not because I wanted to. Sure, Jan. He continues, I reached a settlement with the victim, but I will definitely sue those parties involved for the witch hunt and defamation. Don't harass someone who's trying to live earnestly. Fifth offender is Joe. It's said that he is currently wanted by authorities for a separate crime. Prior to that, though, he really liked to post quotes on social media that read, no mercy is needed for those who aren't human. Life is one mountain after another. The video states, the 39 who haven't been revealed yet should live with an uneasy heart, atoning for their actions as they're carrying a ticking time bomb that could go off at any moment.
Oh, this is one of the YouTuber who's exposing these people.
They're saying
that you guys better watch out.
Because we're coming for you. Next, we have police officer Song, one of the team leaders investigating the Miryang case. He received brief disciplinary action for violating human rights for this case, but he continued to live his life as a police inspector until his retirement in 2016. Then he went on to serve as the president of a local kickboxing association, ran a gym. He taught kickboxing to, quote, juvenile delinquents to help them on the right path, even providing scholarships. It said the police officer that scolded Hannah for muddying Miryang's waters is Officer Kim Tae-hyun. He only received 1 month of disciplinary suspension.
And today he's doing what?
He's either still an officer or retired. Or a lot of these people have gone into private practice. So they work for companies or like a security agency. Officer Cho Won-kwon, he was the sergeant at the time. He was one of the 2 at the hostess bar that made fun of the victims.
Oh my God.
Then we have Hyo, a perpetrator who now runs a chicken restaurant in Miryang. He allegedly told the victim's family things like, let's see how well you live after reporting this. You better watch your back. Perpetrator Shin, who apparently just has a dirty look on his face all the time. He had beaten up kids all throughout high school. It is unknown what he is up to now. Perpetrator Lee was a fighter in high school. Unknown what he is up to now. Perpetrator Jun was described as a psycho in high school. Those who knew him said, yeah, he was beyond crazy and beyond help. He was going to go on to like kill someone or something. He's that crazy. Unknown what he is up to now. Perpetrator Kim bullied kids for no reason at high school for no reason at all. Now he provides private loans as an adult, illegal, charging over 800% in annual interest. He's a loan shark. Yeah, he's a predatory loan shark. Another perpetrator, Joe, one of the most demonic guys in high school is how he is described. Unknown what he is doing now. Next is Park, who used to run Burning Makchang restaurant.
What's that?
It's a burning pig intestine barbecue restaurant, and after being exposed, his restaurant was quietly and quickly shut down. The next exposed alleged perpetrator is Ju. It said that after being exposed, he feels very wronged because he never essayed anyone. He says the victim is also a problematic child. The way she was threatened to come to Miryang, that's not true. It should have been fine if the victim didn't contact us first, but she called our friends here and there and saying she's in Miryang, let's meet up, and we ended up drinking.
You're kidding me.
And we're also guys. So out of curiosity, the incident occurred. Next perpetrator is Beck, married and with a son. He is said to have been running a honey online shop with his wife, selling honey, literally honey, that has now gone private. It seems that his wife had no idea, and it's alleged that his mother-in-law collapsed when she found out the news. The next perpetrator is Sol, and it's said that he's lurking around in online chat rooms like the one that the victim met the perpetrator on. He claims he's just an innocent person that's also just watching all of this unfold on the internet. He has nothing to do with it. He doesn't know how he got roped into it. Another perpetrator named Joe has stated that he is not involved in the case. He states he's accused of being one of the perpetrators that settled with the victim. His argument is, quote, I've never reached an agreement. Any SA crimes are subject to complaint under the SA Violence Punishment Act. So I would be punished even if I reached an agreement with the victim. Again, the reason that people are mad at this case to begin with is that nobody is punished regardless of anything, regardless of agreement or not. So what kind of argument even is that? But going down, there is another perpetrator, Joe, who was exposed to have changed his name and gotten facial plastic surgery. He has been suing netizens who leave malicious comments exposing him. But get this, the lawyer that is representing him is the former presiding judge over the Miryang case. Judge Hwang Jin-hyo, retired as a judge, has gone into private practice where he is now representing accused criminals, and he is now helping one of the Miryang accused perpetrators to sue for defamation.
Wow.
Allegedly. Now, Joe also states, the fact that I received no punishment means that I have not done anything wrong. I am innocent. Then we have Kang and his mom. Kang is now a homeowner, and his mom posts about how happy she is after COVID lockdowns to be back with her friends, and she feels so, quote, alive, and I'm so happy. She's also the one that called Hannah a gold digger. Lawyer Im has been exposed as being the one that repeatedly asked Hannah's little sister if she wasn't assaulted because of her weight. It said he now runs his own private practice in the victim's hometown. So that's great. Then there's perpetrator Lee. He has actually posted a full-on, quote, public apology, if you can call it that. Then perpetrator Kim is exposed. He is currently working as a traveling air conditioner installer, which is terrifying to think he's let into people's homes and he travels for work. Perpetrator Yoon Jin-sang is exposed and makes an apology video saying standard apology, but worse. He beat Hannah with a belt and an iron pipe while assaulting her, so. Lastly, there is the cousin. She was originally thought to be a victim in this case because that's what the police initially released to the press. However, it is being cleared up that she was never a victim. She was actually part of the perpetrators. She dated one of the perpetrators and completely turned a blind eye to her own cousin Hannah being tortured and essayed for a year. She also begged on her knees for leniency for her boyfriend. Now, one of the more startling revelations through all of this is a girl named Hwang. She is being exposed as allegedly being a girlfriend to one of the perpetrators during the crime. It's alleged that not only did she know that her boyfriend was doing this to the victim, but she allegedly helped record it and even called Hannah ugly and taunted her as she was being essayed. Side note, a lot of the investigators working this case, before and after some of them were exposed, they're all avoiding interviews. So far, a total of 29 identities have been revealed on YouTube so far. They're not all the 29 of the 44. Some of them are officers, judges, lawyers. The YouTubers are getting sued by the perpetrators. Most of the YouTubers are faceless and use a voice distortion software to make sure that they can't be found, but some of them have been and are being sued. Like I said, in South Korea, unauthorized personal information disclosure is considered defamation. Yeah, which is, again, very crazy. To complicate things even further, Hell Storage is not actually a picture-perfect vigilante justice warrior either. He's the first one that posted the first video that kicked off this whole thing. He's no longer posting, I believe, but he made a public statement soon after releasing the first video that said, "I have directly communicated via email with the victim's family and they have agreed to disclose all 44 names." Hannah and her family never consented to this. Hannah and her family said they were terrified that the perpetrators would hear this and try to retaliate in some manner. So Hell Storage has since then apologized for lying about the situation. With the newfound attention to the case, the victims have been doing more interviews with the press, completely anonymous, faces blurred, voices altered with fake names. They were asked, "Why now?" And they said, "We looked at each other, the two sisters, and they said, let's stop avoiding it and face reality for once. Back then we were young. We didn't know how the case would unfold. We thought all the perpetrators would be punished just based on their statements. We are no longer the young sisters we were back then. If we feel we are being victimized, we are prepared to step forward now. We want to say that we're not young girls anymore." They're in their mid-30s now.